Everyone thinks matchmaking is about finding the best fights. Two warriors, similar records, winner takes it all. That's what fans see. That's what fighters think it should be. But I'm about to tell you the truth about how fights actually get made. And it's not what you think. I'm sitting in matchmaking meetings for years. Karate combat, dirty boxing, and other promotions. Fighters think it's all about the rankings, about who deserves what. Fans think it's about the most exciting matchups. But here's what really happens in that room. The conversation starts with money, ends with money, and everything in between is also about money. And if you're a fighter wondering why you can't get fights you want, or if you're a fan wondering why certain fights never happen, you need to understand what's really driving these decisions. So, I'm in this meeting, we're talking about booking a main event. Fighter A has a great record, fan favorite, exciting style. Fighter B is ranked higher, coming off a big win. On paper, it's perfect. But when someone asks, what's Fighter A's social media following? How many tickets did Fighter B sell last time? Does Fighter A have any content that's gone viral? Is Fighter B difficult to work with? And suddenly, we're not talking about fighting anymore. We're talking about business. Here's what most people don't understand. It's not about paying fighters less, it's about making sure the event doesn't lose money. A promotion can pay Fighter A $50,000, but if that fighter can't sell tickets, can't promote or doesn't want to promote the fight, and can't generate the buzz, the promotion loses a tremendous amount of money. So they will book Fighter C instead. Lower ranked, maybe not as skilled. But Fighter C has 100,000 Instagram followers, sells tickets, and creates content and hypes like no one else. The math just works. And here's the part that sucks. Fighter A might be the better fighter, might deserve it more, but deserving it and getting it, two completely different things. But you might be thinking, just book the best fights and fans will come. I used to think that too. But here's what I learned. You can have the most technically perfect fight in the world. If nobody knows about it, nobody cares. I've seen incredible fighters with amazing skills get passed over because they just can't promote themselves. And I've seen average fighters with big personalities get main event slots easy. I know it might be frustrating, but that's the reality. The promotion has bills to pay, venues to fill, sponsors to satisfy. They're not running a charity, they're running a real business. Now, from the fighter's perspective, this feels unfair. You train your whole life, you perfect at your craft, you earn your ranking. And some influencer out of nowhere with 3 amateur fights and maybe 1 pro fight gets the opportunity you've been working towards for years. But here's what I wish someone had told me back then. Your fighting skills are only part of your package. The fighters who get the best opportunities aren't always the best fighters. They are the fighters who understand they are also entertainers, marketers, personal brands. And sometimes, matchmaking gets even messier. Politics, grudges, agents who won't work with certain promotions, fighters who are difficult to deal with backstage. But here's where it gets really wild. Shit happens all the time. Fighters get injured, last-minute replacements. You have to make new deals with both fighters. Here's something most people don't know. Some managers are actually paying promotions to give their fighters opportunities. This is more common than you think. Same in boxing. If you want to start building a talent, sometimes you have to pay the promoter, and sometimes you have to pay the opponent as well. There are definitely some dirty tricks in the game. Some people play normal. Some people play dirty. I've seen both. Let me break down how this really works when you're building a fight card. Let's say you have a budget for an entire card, 12 to 14 fights. You want to build it in a way where people are excited to buy tickets or pay-per-view, depending on who's headlining. Here's what's interesting. In boxing, the fights are very top-heavy. You have these main event guys and no one really cares about everybody else. In MMA, it's much more balanced. People are more interested in the entire card. But this is different at local and regional levels versus the highest level. So you can start putting together the card based on your budget. Some people are getting thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And people on the same card sometimes make almost no money. When you build a fight card, you want to make sure people care. These fighters help sell tickets, sometimes by themselves, or people are interested enough to just buy them. And sometimes you want to fill up the place with local fighters because that's the most likely way to get fans in seats. But you also have to be mindful about not just matchmaking, but how you put together the entire card. You want the house full, not just for the main event. When I was putting fights together, I always wanted the first few fights to be exciting so that people came early and we had a full house even at the start. Because here's the thing, if your early fights suck, people show up late. Your venue looks empty. Your broadcast looks weak. If your early fights are exciting, people come early, the energy builds, the main event feels bigger. It's all connected. Every decision affects every other decision. So if you're a fighter, what to do with this kind of information? You can complain about how unfair it is, or you can adapt. Build your following, create content, learn to promote yourself better. Sell tickets to your fights, be easy to work with, show up on time, help the promotion make money, and they'll want to book you again and again. Make their job harder and they'll find someone else. The fighters who understand this get more opportunities. The ones who don't get it, they get frustrated and quit. And if you're a fan and wondering why your favorite fighter isn't getting booked, now you know. It's not always about rankings or records. It's about business realities, negotiations, most people never see. The good news, the more you support fighters by buying tickets, watching their content, share their fights, the more valuable they become to promotions. And by the way, I write about stuff like this in my weekly 3-minute Fight Week newsletter. Behind the scenes, insights, business breakdowns, stories you won't hear anywhere else. If you're interested, I'll leave a link in the description. Look, I'm not saying this system is perfect. I'm not saying it's fair. But I'm saying that's the reality. And once you understand how matchmaking really works, you can work within the system instead of fighting against it. Whether you're a fighter trying to get booked or a fan trying to understand why certain things happen, the fight business isn't just about fighting. It's about entertainment, marketing, money, politics, last-minute chaos, building entire experiences. And the sooner everyone accepts that, the better we can make it work for everyone. If this opened your eyes to how the business really works, hit the subscribe button, and I break down the reality behind the scenes every week. See you in the next one.